Hello everybody, today we are back here on Call of the Wild the Angler, and we're going to be doing a bit of pike fishing today as we recently had a pretty massive pike bite our line and give us the fight of our life here in Call of the Wild the Angler. Today though, we are going to kind of spread out between a few different locations, including the location we caught that monster, and towards the end of the video we will indeed show that fight as well. But we're going to start at this location right here, which is where we ended up catching the monster, and it has housed quite a few decent-sized pike. Now, there's definitely not as many of them in this location, but they've consistently been larger than some of the other areas, so we will be starting here today and just seeing if we can manage to pull a monster out of it. Ooh, that is a good pike right there that we just got a quick glimpse of. Let's actually bring our line in and maybe toss on a slightly larger popper and see if we can maybe get this guy to attack it. That'd be amazing if we could start the day off with a decent-sized pike already, as this area has, like I said, not given us the highest numbers of pike, but instead gave us some consistently decent-sized ones, and man, if we could start off with that guy, that would be amazing. There we go, we got a fish on already. Is this going to be a pike, or will this end up being a largemouth? It's hard to say until we get a good view of it, though it does look like it's a bass. So, not a great start, but I suppose a fish is a fish. There he is. Honestly, that's not a bad bass either. Yeah, it's a big gold, so not a bad start to the day, a 7-pound bass. It's definitely not the species we're after, but still not bad. Let's try something a little bit different. Let's toss on a swim bait and kind of just drag it past where that pike was. See if we can get him to bite that instead. And I also did want to just real quickly give you guys some of my opinions on the angler, because I've seen a lot of people wondering how I'm able to enjoy the game, and also curious about my opinions on some specific aspects of it. And while it's definitely nowhere near perfect, that hasn't really detracted from my enjoyment of the game. I've still been having a lot of fun with it, though it does need a lot of work in certain areas, especially when it comes to the animations of the fish and their behavior, and also just the transitions between animations for both the fish and the fishing rod itself. There's definitely a lot of polish that needs to happen, and I think the biggest thing for me is just they really need to rework the behaviors of the fish and how they decide whether or not they're going to strike a lure, because right now you can pretty much just toss any lure that that species likes in front of any member of that species and they will just strike it pretty much immediately. That's one of the big things that I think needs change, but from what I've seen, the Angler's development team is some of the most open to change developers I've ever seen in my entire life. I've been able to talk to a couple of them, and they're very eager to listen to player feedback and tweak things as needed, which is honestly a rare thing nowadays. It's nice to see that they are dedicated to kind of molding the game to what the player base really wants to see. And so I've got faith that the game will improve with time, though I still am enjoying it in its current state. Though a lot of that probably comes from the open world aspect of it, which is something I've wanted to see in a fishing game for a long time, and there we go, we've got a fish on. Oh, that's him. That's gotta be him. Crank that drag up a little bit. That is him, definitely. Come on, buddy. Wow, that is definitely that big pike that we saw. This might be a little bit of a lengthy fight here. I don't want to break him off, so we're gonna have to be careful with the drag. But I think we should be able to crank it up a bit. Man, this guy is putting up a fight. This honestly might be a diamond as well. This guy is fighting about the same that that big diamond pike ended up fighting during the live stream. If we manage to hook another one here, that would just be incredible. Another thing that I really would like to see kind of adjusted is the reels for the spinning rods. Like the spinning reels, they do have a tendency to look like they're being reeled in quicker than they actually are, and I'm assuming that that will get adjusted, and in fact it could even be a bug. That's another thing that I would like to see kind of tweaked a bit. Though the baitcasters do seem to have the proper reel speed, it definitely seems like the spinning rods move a little bit quicker than what they really should be in a lot of situations, and I noticed that a lot of you guys have mentioned that as well, and I do fully agree with it. They need a little bit of tweaking with stuff like that, and my gosh, this guy is just ripping out line like it's nothing. We gotta be careful that we don't break him off on this rock to our right, as they can brush the line against the rocks and break it off. That's the last thing that we want to have happen in this situation. Let's just try to tire this guy out and then crank him in. It honestly kind of feels like this guy might even be fighting harder than that giant diamond from the live stream. This really does seem like it might be even bigger. So I got a feeling that this has to be a diamond here. There's no way that this thing isn't a diamond with as hard as it's fighting. Though I can't remember if I caught it on heavier gear with the other one or if I was using the same rod and reel. I mean, this is basically a 28-pound setup. 27, 28. So, like, it definitely should be doing well if this is a gold one. So considering it's still giving us a lot of fight, it's got to be a diamond. All right, we finally got it below 30 meters, so we are making a little bit of progress, but not a ton of it, which is a little unfortunate. We're finally tiring this guy out. He's down to about 21 meters. Still has a little bit of fight in him, but not a ton from what I can tell. He's more consistently giving up more line, and the amount of time that he's fighting it is decreasing slightly. We might have to loosen up our drag just a little bit as he is getting closer. I don't want it to suddenly gain a ton of tension and just snap. That would be absolute worst case scenario. We've now been fighting this fish for a good 5 minutes or so, and now we've kind of hit a bit of a standstill where I thought he was tiring out and that he would be in no time, and he's kind of just hanging around 15 to 20 meters now. Though he is giving up a little bit more on that run. Still not giving up enough for us to get him in quickly. Well, just as I thought that we were getting him close, he's now back out to 31 meters, so this is actually going to be a longer fight than what I initially thought, I think. I don't see this ending anytime soon. We're already like 7 minutes into the fight. Probably going to end up being a 20-minute fight if I were to take a guess. So, we'll be here for a while. I suppose whenever we get close, we'll, cut to the next scene. Finally, back under 15 meters, but still has a lot of fight in him. We're now approaching just under 10 minutes. But I think we finally have him to where we can pull him in very shortly. Yeah, it looks like we're finally at the end of the fight. We just gotta be careful that he doesn't break off at the bank. That would be absolutely tragic if it happened. Here we go. Ooh, lower that drag a little bit. We got him. That is a monster northern pike. It is a diamond. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. 2 diamond pike in one video. That is the last thing that I expected, and I think on that note, we should probably show off the other diamond pike that we ended up getting on livestream a couple days ago that I believe was slightly bigger than this guy even. And that right there was almost a 10-minute fight. In fact, it was probably right around the 10-minute mark. Which is kind of crazy. You know, once you get up to some of the larger tackle, it does make a lot of the fish fights easy with stuff like the bass and the trout, but then you hook into one of these pike, and next thing you know, you're spending 10 minutes trying to reel it in, which is definitely a nice change of pace. I like that these bigger diamond fish are actually very difficult to get in. It definitely adds a lot more challenge to it, and that was a fun fight. Quite a bit of fun. Let's get a couple screenshots of this guy, and then we will go ahead and move on to the clip of the first diamond pike that we ended up getting on live stream. Oh my gosh, do you guys see that pike? Oh my gosh, look at that pike! That thing might be a diamond! Gotta loosen that drag up, I don't want to lose this guy. Oh my gosh, that pike is massive. Tighten the drag a bit more. Just want to make sure I don't get it too tight. That's a big fish, though. My gosh, that's huge. Well, I'm glad I switched to the heavy setup. That was the perfect time to do that. Ooh, don't want to do that. Alright, so 65 is about the limit I can go on the drag. I tried to go to 70, and it was just not a good idea at all. Immediately took us into the red. This might end up taking quite a while, guys. Some of these bigger fish do take quite a long time to reel in, especially if they're like towards the limits of what your tackle can handle. And as of now, we don't know exactly how big this guy is, but he's gotta be a diamond. We are slowly gaining on him, so that's a positive. Slowly gaining like a couple meters at a time. There he is. Look at that giant. We got him. Please be a diamond. Holy, it's a diamond. 25 pounds. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Look at the size of this dude. 25-pound pike. Oh my gosh, that's huge. Now that right there is a trophy fish. Wow, that is awesome. Our first non-mission diamond is a giant pike. That was probably the most exciting fight I've had as well. Seeing that guy just go towards our lure and then take it, and then the lengthy fight afterwards, that was awesome. Get a few different screenshots of this guy. I mean, he doesn't even fit in this screen right here. That's crazy. We'll take a look at it for a little bit longer before we let this guy go, but my gosh, that thing's huge. It feels so wrong having to release it though. We're used to taxidermizing diamonds and stuff in the Hunter Call of the Wild, but since you can't mount anything in the angler, all we can do is release it. But my gosh, that was a lot of fun. That was the best fish fight we've had. And since I know quite a few of you will want to know where this is located, we are right here next to this fast travel trailhead right here. It also has the access to a vehicle over there as well, and I think a boat too. This area is really good. It's quite a ways onto the right of the map, very, very far east, past the golden trout. But this area is so good. I've had so much fun fishing for the pike and also the bass here as well. And this is where I've found 2 diamond pikes, so really can't complain. I've fished a lot of places for pike in this game and only pulled diamonds out of here, though I did see one that probably would have made diamond if I had caught it at a different lake. This is the only place that I've actually managed to hook them, and it's been quite a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoy this location, but we're going to continue looking around and find some other places to fish for some pike. You know, before we head out in the boat to the area that I've been seeing the pike over here, where we also saw that potential diamond earlier in the day, I want to try some bank fishing from near this location, as typically we'd be halfway out into the lake, but I want to see if fishing around these little rocks that are sticking out of the water might produce a couple pike. Since if they're in the general area, maybe they'll be over here as well. Well, really, the only thing that I see here is a couple perch, so I'm just going to real quickly try to catch one of those little dudes, and then we will move out to the middle of the lake where I was catching the pike earlier, as that's definitely going to be a more likely option for catching them than this bank fishing is, as I have quickly found out. Just on the massive amount of nothing that we've been catching, I definitely think there's no pike that are over in this part of the lake, so either we're going to have to go out to where I was previously, or maybe go to some of the lilies in the area, because I have seen a lot of pike around the lily pads as well. Now, because of the fact that I also catch lake trout with this setup, I'm going to use the heavier rod just in case we end up running into a lake trout, as otherwise we just might not be able to get it in on one of those lighter rods, or at least not very easily. So we are going to switch things up a little bit and hope that it doesn't affect the amount that we're catching. If it does, we'll have to switch, but we're hoping that this heavier setup will work well on the pike as well as the lake trout. There we go. We finally hooked into something. The question is, do we have a pike? It looks like we do. I switched it up to the same rod that we caught that diamond with, and tossed a size 4 popper on there, and we got our first fish from this location, and it does look like it is a pretty small to average sized pike, so nothing too huge. Yeah, this one right here is just a bronze and only 3 pounds, which is why it was so easy to drag in. But before we fish in this area for too long, let's go ahead and take a look at it on the map. So we're roughly here, and this is the trailhead that I fast traveled to get the boat and everything. In relation to the starting outpost, this is where that is, and this is where the location is. It's pretty good. You can get a lot of lake trout here as well. I have been finding quite a few fish, and that is a decent pike right below us. Hold on. We actually might want to reel in a little bit faster to get this lure over here so we can hopefully hook that one. That would be incredible if we can get him. That actually looks like it might be a decent sized one. Yeah, there he is. That could be possibly a silver or gold. And it's hard to say unless we can get it to bite, though. That actually looks like a pretty big pike, and we can see him right there as well. Let's hop back in the boat and kind of move a little bit closer as slowly as we can so we don't spook it. There we go. We hooked into him, it seems. Definitely a little bit of a bigger fish than our last pike, I'd say. Still not a giant, but definitely coming in easier than that diamond. And taking a little bit longer to bring in than that bronze, so this one's probably a good silver, maybe a low gold. Either way, still better than the last. And actually, this guy does have a decent bit of fight. A little bit more than I initially thought. Ooh, look at him jump, too. Yeah, this guy's probably a good gold. Probably a mid-size gold, if I were to take a quick guess. He's definitely putting up a crazy fight compared to that little bronze. There we go. Should be about to get him in. Not sure what that maneuver was, but we got him. And yeah, it is a gold. 12.91 pounds. Not a bad fish. That might be one of the better ones that I've caught off of the popper. At least this particular size of popper. And again, in case I forgot to mention it, this is the setup that we're using to catch the pike. It's the Eisvogel spinning rod, as well as the Rottelflug spinning reel. Hopefully I pronounced those right. I probably didn't, but you know, we gave it a shot. Then we got the 27.56 pound braided line and a hook size for a popper, which just happens to be a beautiful chartreuse color, which is a color that I've always really liked for fishing in real life. So it's cool that this size 4 one is a chartreuse one, though I do wish that we had the option to choose our color for any size of lure. It's a little unfortunate that each size has one color that you can use, and that's it. And I think I cast out the wrong line. Yes, I definitely did. I just saw a pike surface. I hope it's trailing our popper. It kind of looked like it was. There we go. Yeah, it was, and that looked like it might have been a decent one as well. Not as big as the last, but probably at least a silver. Yeah, this guy's coming in much easier, so he's definitely not going to be a giant. He's still giving us a bit of a show with those jumps, though. But yeah, he's just cranking right in here. And it is a bronze. It's bigger than the last bronze, but still a bronze, so nothing crazy. And you know, something that I've noticed, and this has become more and more apparent the further this video has gone along, is that some of the larger fish like that diamond pike, they tend to hit stuff that you wouldn't see the other fish hit. That's something that I have noticed. Like, both time that I've caught a diamond pike, it's been with a lure that I normally wouldn't use. I believe the first one was caught on possibly a number, or not a number 2, but a 2/0 popper, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, it will have played in the video by now, so you guys will have seen it, but that second one we ended up catching on a size 1 swim bait, and I have yet to catch pike on a size 1 swim bait other than him. So it's very interesting. I do feel like some of the larger fish of each species maybe will go for different lures. And you know, that might be a way that we can diamond hunt. Toss on a swim bait and just see if we can get a pike to hit it, and it seems like if they do, there's a chance that it's a pretty good one, so maybe we'll experiment with that a little bit in the future. But it definitely seems like some of those larger fish, at least for the pike, they will strike different lures than what these mid-size ones will. I just saw a couple of pike surface over here a little bit further, so we're gonna move up and see if we can get either of those to bite, as they did seem to be average size pike. So we're gonna see if maybe we can get their attention with the popper again. Got a good feeling that we will be able to get these two. You know, our primary focus today has been pike, but I just saw a really big largemouth jump over there. So I'm kind of tempted to just go to that, and I think I will, honestly. Because any chance at a big largemouth, I am 100% down for. Let's just move a little bit up here and see if we can maybe get this guy to bite. He looked massive. There we go. We hooked into something. Hopefully it's going to be that big bass that I saw surface. Though I won't be too upset if it's a pike either, since that is the primary focus of this video. It does look like it is a pike, at least I think. Yeah, it's definitely a pike, so not what we were targeting for that cast, but at least it's the species of the video. 3.45 pound bronze, another small one. There we go, another fish on. This one also seems to be pretty small, so I'm going to assume it's once again a small pike. It definitely seems like it is, because he's not putting up too much of a fight at all. We'll just crank this little guy in and get back out there in hopes of maybe hooking into that giant bass eventually. But right now we're just getting a lot of bronze pike. There we go, another strike, this time on a slightly smaller popper. I'm hoping that lowering the size will hopefully attract some bass, since there's that giant that we're after right now, but as of now I have no idea where he's gone. I'm hoping that we'll get him soon, but, I mean, at least we're reeling in pikes since today's video is all about them, and that's a juvenile pike. Smaller lure equals smaller fish, I guess. There we go. We got a fish on the crankbait. That is, I believe, only the second fish that I've ever hooked on a crankbait in the angler. Hopefully this will be the bass. I mean, definitely a higher chance of it being the bass than a pike, I would say, but yeah, it is. Is that him? That's him! That is the fish we were after, a 5.52 pound largemouth bass. So, we finally got him. Took a little while, but we did finally get the fish that we were targeting from that location, and found out that it's not quite as big as I thought it was, but you know, it is what it is. We still got ourselves that fish that we were targeting, and that's the main thing that matters to me. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this look at the pike fishing in the angler and a couple of diamond pike that we ended up getting as well. I still can't believe the first fish we caught during this video was just some random diamond pike in the same location as the other one, and he just came out from the depths and grabbed a swim bait, which was really amazing to see, expecting to not really catch much and then just absolutely having that bait get slammed by that giant pike. That was such a cool experience, and I'm really happy that we managed to get another one in this video. That was a really cool way to open it up. But thank you all for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, click that like button, and ring that notification bell so that you guys will never miss any of the future uploads. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below if you guys enjoyed this video, and also let me know what you guys think about the pike fishing, and also what your thoughts are on the game and how the developers can improve it, because we did mention at the beginning that there's definitely some changes that need to be made, and some just improvements overall that would make the game better. And I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are, so let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!